Okay, let's get one thing straight. This isn't your average love story, and I'm definitely not your average contestant. I'm a New Yorker, fast, bold, and a little extra. I don't wait for the crosswalk to tell me when to go, and I don't wait for love to come knocking either. Here, you have to chase what you want, whether it's a cab, a dream job, or the right swipe. Every spring, cherry blossoms explode across the city, and suddenly, even the concrete jungle feels romantic. The air is full of possibility, and the city softens just enough to let a little magic in. It's like New York itself is rooting for you to find your own fairy tale. For a Bachelor superfan like me, this is my season. I've watched every dramatic rose ceremony, every teary limo exit, and I know all the rules, except here, I get to make my own. I call myself the cherry blossom girl, sweet but with New York sass. I'm not afraid to stand out, and I know how to turn a stroll through Central Park into a runway moment. I'll elbow through tourists for the perfect photo, then treat every date like a one-on-one. In this city, you have to make your own moments, and I'm not shy about taking center stage. My friends are my strategy team, dissecting every text and red flag. We've got group chats, color-coded spreadsheets, and enough opinions to fill Madison Square Garden. They keep me grounded, and sometimes they're the real MVPs of my love life. In New York, you're your own Chris Harrison, guiding yourself through the chaos. There's no host to hand you a date card or tell you when it's time to say goodbye. You have to trust your gut, even when the city noise tries to drown it out. But when the city blooms, hope is everywhere. It's in the laughter echoing through the parks, the strangers who smile back, and the feeling that maybe, just maybe, something amazing is about to happen. Sure, there are no fantasy suites, just tiny apartments and crowded trains, but a girl can dream. Romance here is less about candlelit mansions and more about finding magic in the everyday, like sharing headphones on the subway or splitting a bagel at sunrise. I'm ready for the adventure, the drama, and maybe, just maybe, to find someone who gets me. Someone who can keep up with my pace, laugh at my jokes, and see the beauty in a city that never stops moving. Because in the end, whether you're on a soundstage or a park bench, you're just a girl, standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her. And in New York, that's as real as it gets. And maybe to split the check. Because let's be honest, love is great, but so is financial responsibility. It's New York after all. Here, anything can happen, and I'm ready for whatever comes next. Every Bachelor season needs a group date. My New York version? An escape room in Midtown with a few app matches and my friends as judges. Finance bro. Frank barked orders, red flag. Artist Alex sketched hieroglyphics. Cute, but not helpful. The real drama? Brunch the next day, where my friends break down every move. Then there was the Brooklyn Bridge walk. He showed up late, talked about his ex, and I wanted to self-eliminate. But for every disaster, there's a magic act in the park or a pizza tour gone wrong. The real test? Who can handle the chaos? That's who gets my group date rose. Dating apps are the modern rose ceremony, swiping through Wall Street suits, Brooklyn artists, and actors who list breathing as a skill. In New York City, the dating pool is as deep and unpredictable as the subway system. Every profile is a new audition, and every swipe is a chance at a meet cute or a total disaster. You never know if you're matching with your soulmate or just someone who's really into improv comedy. You're the casting director, making snap judgments on bios and photos. Is that a real job title? Or just a clever way to say unemployed? Does owning a dog mean they're responsible? Or just looking for someone to walk it? The competition isn't just other women, it's the city itself. With endless events, rooftop parties, and pop-up art shows, everyone's calendar is packed. Sometimes, it feels like you're competing with the entire city for someone's attention. Getting someone to commit to a plan is like winning the final rose. There's ghosting, copy-paste messages, and the classic, let's play it by ear. Sometimes you wonder if anyone actually wants to meet up, or if everyone's just collecting matches for the ego boost. And then, of course, there's the occasional guy with a drum kit in his studio apartment, promising you front row seats to his next gig. But sometimes, you find a message that makes you laugh out loud. a clever opener, a shared meme, or just someone who gets your weird sense of humor. Those moments remind you why you keep swiping. I treat it like a game, collecting stories for brunch, not heartbreak. Every bad date becomes a funny anecdote, and every awkward encounter is just more material for the group chat. Somewhere in the sea of swipes, there might be a real connection. Maybe it's over coffee in Central Park, or maybe it's just a great conversation that makes the city feel a little less lonely. You just have to wade through a lot of fish pics to find it. In the end, it's all about keeping an open mind, a sense of humor, and maybe a little hope that your next swipe could be the one. In Bachelor world, the one-on-one is everything. In New York, it means you both actually show up. My first real one-on-one was with bookstore Ben at the Strand. No fancy dinner, just books and real conversation. It was easy, authentic, and at the end, he simply asked, "Can we do this again?" Not every date is a fairy tale. Ambitious Adam took me to a flashy Soho restaurant and talked only about himself. These dates teach you what you want and what you don't. I want someone curious about my story, not just eager to tell his own. The best dates aren't Instagrammable. They're the ones where you feel seen. My rose ceremony doesn't happen in a glamorous ballroom or on a reality TV set. It happens quietly in my head as I sit on my fire escape, legs dangling over the edge, the city humming below me. Up here, I can breathe, away from the noise and the pressure, and I find myself replaying every moment, every conversation, trying to decide who truly made me feel at home in this sprawling city. I think about the people I've met, the laughter, the awkward silences, and the rare, unexpected moments of comfort. Who made me feel seen, not just noticed? Last week, on a Brooklyn rooftop with Ben, the city lights flickering around us, something shifted. He admitted he was nervous because he liked me, a real, vulnerable moment that caught me off guard. In a place where everyone tries to play it cool, his honesty felt like a breath of fresh air. In a city where everyone acts cool, where it's easy to hide behind bravado and small talk, his openness was everything I didn't know I needed. We both let our guards down that night, sharing stories and secrets we hadn't told anyone else. It was as if the city faded away, leaving just the two of us, honest and unfiltered. For a moment, it truly felt like we were the only two people in New York, suspended above the chaos, wrapped in our own little world. That's the magic of this city. It can feel impossibly lonely, even when you're surrounded by millions. But one genuine connection, one honest conversation can change everything. Suddenly, the city doesn't feel so big. Suddenly, you're not just another face in the crowd. You're seen, you're understood, and you're not alone. After that night, I knew Ben was getting my rose. It wasn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations, just a quiet, honest conversation under the stars that made all the difference. Sometimes, the most meaningful moments are the simplest ones, shared in the glow of city lights when you finally let someone in. On The Bachelor, hometown dates mean meeting the family. In New York, it's a subway ride to someone's world. Ben took me to Astoria, his favorite bakery, the park where he learned to ride a bike, the library where he fell in love with books. Meeting his friends at a beer garden was the real meet the family moment. Seeing him in his element, surrounded by people who loved him, told me everything I needed to know. It wasn't about fancy apartments or big jobs. It was about community. Riding the subway home, I realized I could picture myself in his world and he in mine. That's what really matters. After weeks of bachelor-style adventures, I found myself under the cherry blossoms in Central Park. The petals were falling, and I realized the most important relationship I built was with myself. I learned I don't need grand gestures, just someone honest, someone who fits into my real life. Ben was there, no dramatic proposal, just us, happy and real. I didn't have to be a perfect bachelorette, just my loud, sassy New York self. In the end, I gave the final rose to myself. I chose to love my quirky cherry blossom loving self, and only then did I find someone who loved me too. That's a wrap.